Howdy, and welcome to the 43rd annual Red McCombs Fiesta sale. We had the honor and the privilege to catch up with all of our sale sponsors, and on this episode, we caught up with Rex and Sherese Glendenning at the Glendenning Farms in Celina, Texas following the sale. So let's check in with that interview as they talk about their history within the breed, their sponsorship, their consignments, as well as tips and advice for new breeders and owners. Would you all like to introduce yourselves?
Sure. Rex Glendenning and my wife Sherese Glendenning here at Glendenning Farm, Celina, Texas.
Outstanding. Well, thank you very much for being with us today. I had a couple of questions for you, and I think we'd start off with a little bit kind of from the beginning, and that was more or less asking, when did y'all get started in Longhorns?
A long time ago, 1985.
1985.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
by accident, actually.
Really?
Yeah. You want to tell the story?
Well, I guess semi by accident. There was a Longhorn breeder that's no longer in the breed, but was very prominent back in the day, pretty prominent, J.B. Hunn, and I was selling him a piece of land, or selling a piece for him. I think a piece for him.
For him, he was
and
the seller.
He was. He's quite a trader himself, and he wanted to swap me half the commission in Longhorns. So he was proposing 5 Longhorn heifers?
4.
4 heifers and whatever for part of the commission, and I didn't want to do that at the time. I thought the money was more important than the cows.
Because we didn't have any money, we were broke.
Okay, well,
so seriously.
Yeah, it's probably true too.
We needed that commission.
So we are kind of bartered back and forth. Anyway, he went out, and we picked out 4 heifers.
Well, hold on. Before that, Rex comes home from work and he says, Sherese, JB's only going to pay me half the commission, and then he's going to let us get 4 heifers. He said, and we can, the next weekend after we get them, we'll just take them to the sale barn and get the cash. It's like, okay. Because, I mean, we really did need the money at the time. So we go up to JB's and we pick out 4 heifers. And we never made it to the sale barn. And 3 of them are on the walls at the house.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So you started with 3.
Well, 4.
4. Yeah.
One of them we didn't mount because she didn't have long enough horns.
Gotcha. How many do y'all have now?
Oh, we don't know.
You got
Too many.
You got a few.
Too many.
Yes, well, that's awesome. What is it that keeps you in Longhorns since all the way back at that time with starting those 4? What is keeping you into the Longhorn industry?
Well, I think once you get the bug in the Longhorn industry and you really start, and you know, once we got those Longhorns, I started studying the bloodlines and the 7 families of Longhorns and the history of the breed itself, and it intrigued me, and to know that these animals were brought over from Spain in the 1500s, and the Spanish conquistadors conquered Mexico, and started putting forts up across Mexico and bringing the Longhorn and bringing the bighorn Spanish cows in. And as they got loose from Indian raids or whatever it might be, and they wandered, and they all basically for 400 years, 300 to 400 years, the breed evolved into what it is today. I mean, I don't know about today. We've even refined the genetics even further, and to know that breed was the culmination of, it started a new currency for Texas after the Civil War. And you know, right here in front of us, here, Shawnee Trail is Preston Road, and millions of those Longhorns were driven right down the road here within a half a mile of us. And to know the history of the breed and how it evolved and is intriguing to me, and it continues to be.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's rich in history.
It's
so rich in history. I'd like to say that they're kind of like the native Texas cattle.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
They were a recognizable breed before Texas was even adopted into the Union, and which I just find absolutely fascinating.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So, just a little bit about the Glendenning Farm. Can you tell us a little bit about it, where it's located, any significant history, your breeding programs? And just tell us a little bit about your farm and your operation here.
Yeah, I'll kind of start. I may let her take over with the genetic component, but when I grew up raising commercial cattle with my father and grandfather, anything that had a horn on it, we cut it off.
Yeah.
And there wasn't anything when I was growing up. But when we got into business in '85, really Sherese is probably better from and she picked out Colorado Cowboy as to AI special cow we had, and we ended up getting lucky and breeding G-Man, which was the longest horn bull in the breed in the '90s, and probably till about 2000, and then his progeny produced Heavy Hitter, who's the longest horn bull for about a decade, from 2000 to 2011, and then that kind of culminated. We kept trying to get the trifecta for the third longest horn bull in the world, and I didn't quite ever get there, so we decided we'd go out and buy what we thought was the greatest bull in the breed, and we purchased Drag Iron in 2015, and he's still our standing herd sire here today. And Sherese, you might add a little to that.
Well, and then during this whole time, since 1985, whenever we would go to sales, I would say we're going shopping. And we wanted our herd to be an assorted herd. We didn't want, like, we'd go shop for a dun, or we'd go shop for a Grula. It's like, okay, we need this, And so we'd try to get the herd to look like a true Texas Longhorn herd, where it's just so assorted.
Yeah.
You just had every color, and that's really kind of how we put the herd together. It was fun. It was a lot of fun to, and then we'd bring a new one home, and then, more color, more this, more that.
It's just fun. Well, I tell you what, that bull that you got sitting there behind you, Mr. Drag Iron, I tell you, he's got some color.
Oh yeah, he's
Incredible.
something else.
And it seems like he's really kind of helping to pass on some of those colors, because he's got that wild gene. Is that correct? He's got the wild gene.
Yes.
The wild gene, yeah.
Yeah, but then his calves could really kind of. Who knows? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the greatest thing about Longhorns. You really don't know. They're kind of like fingerprints are all just a little bit different.
They're all different.
Yeah, that is absolutely fascinating. Well, and talking about the Red McCombs sale. So this was the 43rd annual Red McCombs sale. Was this y'all's first sale to come to?
Oh no.
No, you guys have been coming for a while? That's awesome.
I really think we were there in '85, and it really had an impact on me. The sale did. To have it at Red's Ranch, and to have Red and Charlene there, and actually running it and being a part of it, and it was so well done in '85. They had, a band, and the bands, and the similar to what we had this past year, brought back the heifer futurity. It was there at the time, and they had Bull Alley with all the top bulls in the industry down an alley that you could see the actual top herd sires in the industry, and walk really up and see them in person. And then, Red, with the time he actually, after the party was over on Friday night, invited us all over to his house, and we sat at his bar, which I thought was, incredible as a young man coming out of college. Sitting with a business icon that I kind of feel like has been one of my mentors and/or idols as I've grown in my business over the last 40 years. And I always thought, if I ever wanted to emulate a program, emulate a ranch, or emulate a person in the industry, that was the ranch and the person I was trying to set as a benchmark to try to attain that level of perfection and success.
That's one heck of a benchmark.
It is indeed.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know we're still struggling for that.
It's I would have loved to have been there at the sale at that time.
Oh, it was so cool.
Yeah, I've only been in the Longhorn industry roughly about 5 years. So it's my wife and I first started attending Red sales just a couple of years ago. Like it seems to be like every single year that we go, it's always downpouring. Like a couple of years ago.
Oh, it was a torrential downpour.
Oh, absolutely. We had river flowing right through the sale.
Yes.
It was absolutely fantastic, and it did not stop anyone. The sales still continued.
Got a different vibe there. You have in my opinion, a totally different vibe at that sale than you do at any of the other sales, because you feel like you're truly there at the ranch with the with the ranch blood flowing through you, and you get it's just a better feeling about it.
Absolutely.
And I think that's we try to make it every year because of that.
That is fantastic. And this was this your first year to sponsor the Red McCombs sale? And what part of the sale did you all sponsor?
The heifer futurity.
The heifer? Oh my goodness, we absolutely love the heifer futurity.
Yeah,
I thought that was such a fantastic program, and it sounds like they brought it back. They originally had it back in '85 and something like that.
They had it in '85 when we were there. We thought it was fantastic. And then when Alan Sparger called us and mentioned the opportunity, we jumped at it right away because we were number one, to be a part of Red's sale is an honor, and to tribute anything to Red and to his program. So I thought it came off really well. I think everybody enjoyed it.
I did. I really liked the futurity and the fact that it kind of took the politics out of it a little bit, the way that they did it. It was everybody that had a bidder number was able to vote on who's going to win the futurity. I thought it was it was so cool to actually get the experience to be there firsthand and to see some of the animals that you voted for, that other people voted for, end up kind of taking home the grand prize and stuff. That was really, really neat. So first off, I want to thank y'all very much for sponsoring that. That was
absolutely
a fantastic opportunity.
Honor. We're happy to do it.
Y'all didn't just come to the sale as a sponsor, but you also offered some consignments as well. Yep. Can you tell us a little bit about your consignments?
Sherese, why don't you take that?
Well, we had Dragonette in the heifer futurity, and she actually placed second in the older class. And then we had Maggie May, brought her, and she's gone to Oregon. The Fays bought her, and I'm so glad they did. They're wonderful people. So she's headed up to Oregon, and then we had 3 cows in the sale: Drag Iron Daughter, Iron Mike, and who was the other one? Oh, and a Kingsman.
Oh, that's right.
And a Kingsman, yeah.
Well,
so
they were absolutely fantastic animals.
Thank
Absolutely
you.
beautiful. We want to thank you very much for co-signing your animals to that sale. It gives all of us that are new to the industry the ability to kind of get in on some genetics that we haven't had the opportunity to get. A lot of the consignments, as well as the animals, the cattle that were actually in that sale, were potentially seeing the public auction for the very first time, and potentially the very last time as well. So it was just such an amazing sale. So thank you all very much.
Oh, for sure.
And knowing that y'all have been in Longhorns for a period of time, and I know we talked a little bit earlier, and I was talking that we've only been roughly about 5 or 6 years. And, we're still making a lot of mistakes, and you said that
we learn every day something new. You know.
That is incredible. Do you have any tips or advice for somebody wanting to get into Longhorns?
Have fun.
Have fun.
Fun.
I love it.
Yeah, I mean, as long as it's fun,
yeah.
I think that's the key. But I mean, I was going to say that just buy quality. I mean, and quality instead of quantity would be my advice. And if you it doesn't take that much time to understand which genetic pools are best, and to maybe look and go after those genetics. And at sales, usually if you're patient enough, there'll be something in that genetic pool that toward the end of the sale will fall into a lower price category, where a sister or a full sister or something may bring $35,000 or $45,000, and then a half sister may bring $3,000 to $4,000. So if you're patient and can put together the program in that manner and try to go after the quality genetic pool in lower numbers on the front end and breed from that, would be my advice, rather than going out and trying to buy 50 average cows.
Yeah, and just kind of hoping.
Yeah,
that's a fantastic advice. Thank you very much. What is the importance of a good bull in a herd in the program?
It's real important.
It's probably as important as anything, but if you don't have a good bull, and we didn't when we got into the business, we chose to AI, and Sherese picked out a bull at the time in the 80s named Colorado Cowboy, and today there's in my opinion, a top 5 in the industry in the sires, and I would say, in our humble opinion, Drag Iron is one of those 5. And
I would agree.
and then you can AI. You don't have to own that bull. You can artificially inseminate and get that genetic pool starting to establish in your herd through an AI program. And then once, if you're lucky enough, we got lucky maybe within a year and ended up having a bull named G-Man that was the longest running bull in the breed for about 10 to 11 years, from really throughout the 90s. And then we were then lucky enough the offspring from him came Heavy Hitter, who was the longest running bull from about 2000 to 2011. So if you get the right genetic pool, you may end up having a herd sire. And Russell Fairchild, who's our ranch manager, always says he won't let us keep a potential herd sire unless the mother is outstanding. The dam has to be as outstanding as the sire, and the dam has to have outstanding horns and a production record to be considered as a herd sire.
I absolutely love that. Very sound advice. It's the same advice that I was also given. Just going to show that you really do need to get your quality females, the quality cows, but then kind of also highlighting the fact that a really good bull can help kind of elevate your herd as well. That is amazing. Yeah. Well, thank you all very much. I really do appreciate the time and the opportunity. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
Oh, I appreciate you taking the time to come out and interview us, and I think that the tribute and honor to Red's program and to Alan Sparger, and if Alan's watching this, I'd say, Alan, get well soon. You were sorely missed at the program, but you were felt throughout, and your presence was there throughout the entire weekend, and everybody knows and loves you, and we miss you. Take care.
And we've got, he's scheduled already his next sale.
Yes.
April 29th and 30th of 2022?
I think it's May.
It's May?
No, is it May? No, April. April?
I think it's the last weekend of April.
Yeah.
I tell you what, I'm excited about it.
I know, we are too.
So
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Take care.